The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/ThePodcastingDead.
Happy Walking Dead Monday. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And, man, I'm not going to lie. I'm glad to be talking to you, the listener, but not glad to be back in the swing of a work week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy Monday to everybody. You know, what's up, what's cooking, what's good.
You feel like a rock star now that you're sitting on that couch, don't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a new configuration.
The best configuration would be to slide to your left just a little bit and pull the mic over there with you. Then I'd be able to see you, but you'd be comfortable and you can sit back.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. But anyway, so being The Walking Dead is obviously taking a little bit of a hiatus during the mid-season break. We still plan to do something Walking Dead related each and every Monday. And so for today, we were thinking, we've got a couple of different subjects that we want to talk about. But today we were like, you know what, let's talk about this interesting picture that they posted on their Twitter. And it was sent to me by our listener, Brianne McCann, which, of course, Brianne, thank you so much for sending that. And in the future, between now and when the show returns, we'll talk about, you know, things like the best of The Walking Dead and what do we expect from the next season? And we'll have something Walking Dead related. But for today, we figured while this was fresh, we'd kind of dive into this picture. So if you're watching on YouTube, the picture should be up on your screen. But if not, you can look this up. They've basically taken it's a pretty well-known painting called The First Thanksgiving at Plymouth. And they've replaced it with Walking Dead characters. This has pretty much become like a yearly tradition.
Sure.
And they did it last year, and there are some interesting changes from last year to this year. Some of them are the same. Like Daryl still looks exactly like Daryl, but you've got some noticeable changes. JP, you got to take a look at it earlier, right?
Yeah, I did, and there's a lot of seems to be foreshadowing, so to speak.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to show foreshadowing, and I don't know, man. It's kind of the picture itself kind of creeps me out. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, so we're going to look at this photo and just talk about some of the differences. And for those listeners out there that are super sleuths and are way more adept at dissecting these things, please let us know in the comment section below. Excuse me, what you think. But before we start, I have to correct myself and JP and a listener. So a while back, we were talking about, you know, when Negan told that guy, when he broke out or whatever, and you know the kid's like, yeah, I heard you shot Carl Grimes, whatever, and Negan says, I would never kill a kid. Somebody, you know, and I was in the same camp. I thought the same thing as our listener. Somebody commented and was like, yeah, but that's not. Jesus was talking about how Negan beat a 16-year-old to death with a bat. Something. And I thought the same thing. I was like, well, Negan's killed a 16-year-old kid with a baseball bat. You know, I went back and I'm rewatching the show, and you realize that not only did Negan not kill a kid, but there wasn't even a baseball bat involved in the killing.
Yeah, I didn't realize. It's been so long for me, dude.
Yeah, he just talks about how some saviors showed up on Negan's behalf and then said they needed, you know, they beat a 16-year-old to death. And then they said we need to learn right off the bat. You know, blah, 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 blah. And in my mind, somehow that got it mixed up. Maybe because we read the comics and I was so amped up for Negan's debut on the show that I just heard bat and learn and beat to death and thought they meant Negan beat a 16. So if you were some of the few, I'm sure most people got that. I'm slow. So hopefully if you were like me, that's one of those, oh, I thought that they had said Negan beat a 16-year-old to death with a baseball bat. But no, some of his people did. Probably was Simon, and probably Negan wasn't aware that they had killed a kid.
You think it could be a case of the Mandela effect taking hold of us?
Oh, my gosh. You think so?
It could be, possibly.
Yeah, it could be. It's interesting because there's a lot of clues. Like if you go back to the getting back to this painting back in 2018, you see like the helicopter in the top. Yeah. Right? Gabriel does not have on a hat, whereas in the new one he does. Let's see. Jesus, well, it's a little early, but Jesus is there, but now he's not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's look from. I got the old to the new, so we can kind of see in Jesus's place we have Kelly. And Kelly don't really look too happy. You notice that?
Yeah.
Kelly doesn't look too happy, so that might be some foreshadowing. Because you know who I don't see in this?
Who?
I don't see Connie.
Oh.
I do not see. Let's see. I see Yumiko. I see Eugene, and I see Rosita. But I'm not seeing Kelly anywhere. I don't think.
Beautiful Rosita.
Almost looks like Carl in the background there, but I don't obviously think it. Wait a minute. That does look like. Wait a minute. Why does that look like Carl in the back? Who is that in the background? Look.
You talking about way back there by the shed?
Yeah.
I think that's I thought that was Maggie.
That's very good job, man. It just for me, it almost looked like Carl because I thought I saw a cowboy hat on. But
it's weird. Like Maggie's in her regular clothes, and way up there on the other side, Negan and Beta and Alpha are in their regular clothes. Everybody else though was decked out in the Pilgrim Indian wear.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of little Easter eggs in this picture. I'd love to get a print of this, man, for us to hang in our studio.
Well, what's interesting too is if you notice in the 2018 picture, Carol there is rubbing on the dog, whereas in this one she's looking at a map.
Yeah,
or what looks to be a map or something. You see what that is? What I did was screenshot both photos and then cropped them so I can flip back and forth.
Yeah.
Let's see what other differences. Oh man, it's so sad to see. Let's see. So you had Aaron is now had his place taken by. Well, it looks like he's been slid down one because it looks like Lydia is where Aaron was, and I'm thinking that's Aaron slid down a little bit. Let's see. We had Jerry replaced with Eugene. Eugene and Yumiko look like they're having a really serious discussion too. Do you have these pictures in front of you?
Yeah, that's what
looks like Eugene. Because last year in their place we actually had Jerry and Michonne, and then Jerry's wife sitting to Jerry's left.
Yeah.
Well, now we have Eugene with Yumiko on the right and Rosita on the left. It looks like Yumiko's not happy. I don't see Magna at this table either.
I don't either, dude.
Wonder if that's a sign of who may die.
Magna better not die, man.
She was so good in the comics.
I'll stop watching.
No, you would not.
Magna's my new fave.
And why? Because she had a lesbian sex scene and you loved it so much?
No, not just because of that. Because of her fierce
knowing you,
femininity. Femininity.
Femininity. Yes, I too admire her femininity.
Yeah.
No, that JP just likes her because he saw more skin from her than he's seen in any other female on this show in a while.
That's not true.
That's very true. But anyways, it is interesting that Carol is now we see Dog is in the same place. Dog's beside Carol as he was last time. Carol last time was just kind of looking at the ground. I guess she's looking at that log, which looks like it. Look at that log she's looking at in 2018. It almost looks as though, because see, we have, if you look in the old one, 2018, you could see Connie and Kelly in the background, and they're talking. Whereas now, when you flip, you've got what appears to be Maggie. For a second, the way I was looking at it, it almost looked like there was a cowboy hat. And I was like, that almost looks like Carl. I wonder if that means he's going to be. And see, when I thought it was Carl, my mode of thinking real quick, and I think you're right, that's definitely probably more likely to be Maggie than it is to Carl. But see how they're all together and that's off in the distance?
Yeah.
I thought perhaps that was a hint that we were going to have like a Carl flashback or a Carl dream or something to that effect. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they'll dive into ghosts, but yeah, Aaron doesn't look too happy either. And who's this? I guess that's Gracie. Is that? Oh, no, that's not. I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's Monday after a 4-day weekend. My brain's not moving at the right speed. But no, that's Gamma right there standing over Aaron's shoulder. You see that? I was about to say, who's this freaky ghost child over Aaron's shoulder?
It almost looks like he's got war paint on, or maybe he's just bruised up a little bit. I don't know.
He doesn't look to be in good spirits.
Looks a little strange.
You look at him from last year. Let's see what he looked like last year. Well, I mean, last year he looked a little Friday. Jesus had a devilish little look on last year, which
Daryl looking like Robin Hood, that green vest and stuff.
And he's sitting next to now. Daryl and Ezekiel don't seem to have changed much. I'm zooming in trying to see. I see Ezekiel and Daryl don't seem to have changed much at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, you had it. I'm trying to see if there's anybody. It's really interesting to see Negan, Beta, and Alpha off in the distance like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lydia. Is there anybody else I'm missing? So we got Jerry, his wife. So we know that Connie is not in this photo, and she was last year. Let's see, was Magna in this photo last year? Yeah, there she is. She was right beside Yumiko. She's one of the Native Americans. So are we sure that's not her again this year? No, it's not. It's been changed with somebody's face. I can't tell whose face that is, though. I don't know, JP. What do you think? You guys are learning this with us, like we are.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen this. I know you got sent it last night, perhaps.
I think Brianne sent it a couple of days ago, but this is the first time I'm really having a chance to. I kind of skimmed through the article and was like, "Oh, that is interesting. We'll talk about that."
I'm not as active on Twitter as I used to be, but
I'm not either. I haven't been on Twitter in a hot minute.
But it is you got that city off in the distance.
Oh, yeah, and we've got a boat. We didn't have either one of those last time. You have what looks to be a city, and you have what looks to be a boat.
What do you think the city represents?
Well, that could be the fort that Michonne's going to get those weapons.
Perhaps, yeah.
Because let's see, was there a windmill behind them last time? No, there's also a windmill there that wasn't there last time.
And it is smoke coming from some kind of possibly an industrial sector or possibly just a city on fire.
Well, that's what I was thinking was like the fort, you know what I mean?
There could be some biblical references here.
Yeah, maybe.
The golden city on the hill, you know.
Could be.
The paradise promised to us in Scripture, and that's, you know.
Well, and here's what's interesting, too. If you look behind what we assume that was Maggie to the right of the painting, look in the back there, and you can see what looks to be like a house or something, like a cabin on the left and something else. But when you look at last year's picture, there actually is nothing, because Connie and Kelly are standing in the general area where what we assume is Maggie is, but there's no house or anything behind them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see what that's supposed to represent. Let's see, and I wonder what's on the table. We got little Judith there doing her thing.
Yeah, that's something interesting in the background behind Maggie, if that is Maggie.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? It's almost like a barn or something, and then like on the left there's like a cabin.
Yeah.
Wondering what this Carol reading a map is for. Like, I wonder if this is like,
you know, you zoom in, it almost looks like it's like blueprints or schematics or something.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, it would make more sense to be a map, but maybe it's some kind of like a doomsday weapon kind of. I don't know, man.
Kelly does not look happy, and it almost looks like she's looking over towards maybe Carol.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, I do see that.
Maybe Carol will be responsible for Kelly's death.
Yeah.
Wasn't she with them when they fell in the zombie pit? Because I know you had Daryl and Carol and Jerry and Magna.
Yeah, it was quite the away team, man. And now they're in a cave full of zombies.
If Connie dies, I'm going to be mad. I like Connie. I think, and I like the Connie and Daryl dynamic.
Yeah.
Daryl needs to get him some action, man. He's been like the whole apocalypse without so much as.
And who knows when the last time he got it before that was? I don't know.
Daryl might have been a pimp beforehand.
He could have been, man. He could have been.
Now, this piece of wood with this thing draped over top of it. Now, that was in the old picture, and it's in the new picture, so I guess that's just kind of something there. But it is cool to kind of look in this picture and look at how many little things that you just would assume were in the old one as far as just background stuff actually was added, you know?
Yeah, man, I feel like we're going to be talking about this for the remainder of the day and just finding little stuff we didn't notice, you know? Yeah, that's really cool. I'm very interested to see. I wonder why Father Gabriel has on a hat now when he didn't last time. What do you think that could represent? Gosh, I don't.
You think he's gonna let his hair grow out?
No, he won't do that. Just that, you know, there's something above him all the time.
And what does that mean?
Well, that's why the our beautiful Jewish friends, you know, with the yarmulke or whatever, it's just to remind you that there's always something up above.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Rosita doesn't look happy. What's interesting is the conversation looks like it's going on between Eugene and Yumiko. Like, I wonder what they would be conversating about.
That's a good question.
And who's this? Is this a kid beside Yumiko? Yeah, I think that was RJ last time. It was RJ with Michonne, but now who's this kid? And why have we haven't seen RJ all season, have we? Well, I mean, we have. I think we saw him but we haven't seen him a lot. But I guess, who is this kid with Yumiko, I wonder?
It could be RJ.
I don't think
She
so.
may be raising him while, Michonne is off doing her pirate thing.
That's true. That is very true. And you notice Michonne's not here.
No,
I guess it's real.
She's not.
Denai Guerrera's leaving us.
You got that battleship off in the distance. That's about it.
I don't want Denai to leave.
I don't either. But
Yeah, a lot to look at. Definitely, let's see. And Eugene's got a hat laying. Well, that was on the old one. It was Jerry there, so I'm assuming that hat doesn't mean anything. It's a hat on the ground. Let's see. That is, man, I'm going to tell you, Gamma is freaky looking right there, man. She looks like something out of like a horror movie. Like if I didn't know this show, I'd be like, I think this guy right here with the furrowed brow is going to get killed by some ghost girl.
yeah, the old Gamma, she got her a 5-head, man. I can't do much with Gamma, Ain't many of them in the group I wouldn't do something
Yeah,
with.
but I mean, you also say
you
you think that Carol is extremely unattractive, and I don't think
nothing with Carol either.
Carol is. Melissa McBride is a pretty lady.
Dude,
I think you crazy. I think you crazy.
She ain't got no
You don't know
titties,
that,
man. Dude, I do know that.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I would like to see some pictures of her, like in her youth, and see what she was working with. But
Well, let's see. I'm going to find you some right now. We're going to look them up. You ready?
yeah.
And I'm not putting these up on screen because that's just not cool. But I'm going to show JP and see if I can find something that makes JP think she's hot.
I don't know, man. Maybe.
I think she's a pretty lady, man. She's almost got a Jamie Lee Curtis look to her.
Yeah, I've never really been attracted to Jamie Lee Curtis. She was kind of hot in True Lies, but she was born a hermaphrodite.
Who was?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Nah.
Yeah, she had both. They had to remove the penis.
Nah.
I promise.
Nah.
I promise.
Nah.
I don't know where the penis is now. Hopefully it's doing well, but
Okay, so there's no sexy pictures of Carol. I don't think that I was just going to see if they had, like anything, not nude obviously, but just something where she had kind of like they fixed her up for like one of these magazines or something. But I don't see that. But Jay, I promise you, she's a pretty lady, which is your opinion. If you don't find her attractive, you don't find her attractive.
Nah, I ain't giving no
I just did some of the girls I've seen that you've said were attractive. I just think that, I don't know. That's content for, if you are not a regular listener of this podcast, where's your new creepy laugh coming from?
What?
You've got this new laugh that you've not had in the 3 years we've podcast. Yeah, that.
What?
Let me hear it again.
What?
Where's that creepy laugh coming? Are you trying to reinvent yourself with a new laugh?
I'm not.
If you pay attention, JP's going. What is that shit?
You crazy, man.
I'm not.
It's been a good holiday, though. I'm glad you had a good weekend. I hope our listeners did.
Yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. It went a little bit too fast. We had a nice 4-day weekend, and man, it speed on by.
Can I recommend a TV show to you?
To me or the listeners?
To everyone. And I'm a little late to the party on this one, but What We Do in the Shadows.
You've already, yeah.
Season 2 comes out in 2020. Gosh, what a good show.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that. You said that's like vampires, but it's like office-style documentary.
It's Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords writes and produces on it. Oh, gosh, I had so much fun watching it, dude. So much fun watching it. I wish you were there with me.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but I didn't get an invite.
Nah, I didn't invite you to nothing.
Nope. But let's see. So what we take away from this, we've got Maggie in the background, which is possible for Maggie's returning. And like I said, when I first glanced at it before I zoomed in, I thought that was Carl. I just thought I saw not a cow. I keep saying cowboy hat, a sheriff's hat or whatever. And
yeah.
I thought it was Carl, and maybe we'd see him in a dream sequence. But JP's right. It definitely looks like it's supposed to be Maggie. So we see Maggie making her way back to the group from what looks to be a house or a cabin of some sort. We don't have Magna here, and Yumiko looks very angry. I take that as anger. Maybe not. It's
an off-putting look.
Right. You have to really zoom in and get these people's facial expressions. But maybe not. But she doesn't look happy. I'll say that. And Eugene looks kind of like he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
I know.
But so, Yumiko, Magna's not in this painting, so we know that the show has definitely taken some liberties from the comics and then just like went way out in left field. So though Magna in the comics goes on to be, quite a leader, it could be they're getting ready to take her out, and Yumiko's not happy about it. Kelly doesn't look happy, and it almost looks like she's glaring over at Carol, or I would say Judith, but I don't think Judith would. She looks like she's glaring at Carol, and Carol's looking at what looks to be some kind of map or something. So maybe Carol's on her. You know what? Maybe it's a road map. Remember Carol and Daryl talking about taking that road trip out west.
That's true.
So maybe Carol's. Gosh, I hope Carol's not exiting the show. And please don't throw her on Fear the Walking Dead. Stop taking characters from the good show and putting them on your shitty show to try to make it good. Let's see. We've got Aaron looks very distressed with Gamma behind him. I don't know. Aaron looks worried, maybe. Gamma looking like a ghost back there, just standing behind Aaron like the Grudge Girl or something. Lydia looks a bit concerned. She looks kind of... Lydia looks like she don't really give a shit. Yeah. Very just kind of like
me in family pictures. Let's just get this over with.
That's exactly what Lydia's face says. Like, let's just get this shit over with. Like, he's praying and she's like, I want to eat.
Yeah.
Daryl's just kind of like, hey, I'm Daryl. Daryl's looks very similar to last year. Let me flip back, make sure it's not some small detail I'm missing. Daryl got a sword in the old one. Daryl got a sword in the new one.
Live by the sword, and you know what that means.
Let's see. And then, of course, we've got Negan, Beta, and Alpha almost spying on them.
Are they probably hungry? They probably, like, we smell it. Negan's like, they won't even let me eat a pig I killed. Y'all can at least, throw a turkey leg over here or something.
Sword, sex, shit. Yeah, I just got done rewatching. I'm into season 7 now. I started it one week before last.
Man. You're reliving the whole thing.
It is, and I'm gonna tell you, season 7, episode 1 does not get any easier to watch with Abraham and Glenn. Man, I thought after I've seen it a couple times and it's been a few years, I thought I probably no. Every hit, you're like, then I'm back to liking Daryl, but God, I remembered how much I hated Daryl at that point.
Yeah,
he got McGlynn killed. But yeah, there's a child behind Yumiko, which JP pointed out could be RJ. Maybe Yumiko's watching RJ while because I can't imagine Michonne's gonna Denai Guerrero's they're gonna have Michonne exit the show and take Judith and RJ with her.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Part of me thinks she might die, man. I mean, some people think she's gonna make it onto the Rick movies, and maybe, but part of me thinks that they're gonna just straight up kill her. When's the last like Rick left the show, and he didn't die. He just left. Maggie left the show, and she just left. You know what I mean? It's like they haven't. I don't know. It's like I think Michonne might die.
I think it'd be a ballsy move, man, for them to just have her ripped apart.
I think she might. Yeah, I don't know. I think Michonne might die. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to see especially going back through the show, man, and knowing what she becomes, and just kind of seeing her evolution. She's such a good character, but. I really don't want to see her die, but I feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah, especially with the future she plays part in if you go into the comic lore,
Oh yeah, man. And I see Jerry and his wife. Jerry and his wife are still at the table. I'm wondering who these other Native Americans are supposed to be. It's really hard. The picture is not the easiest to zoom in and see, but yeah. So we definitely have the hint of Maggie showing back. We have angry Kelly without Connie at the table, which is maybe saying that Connie's going to die and Kelly's not going to be very happy about it. Though I thought it was going to be the opposite. I truly, if I was asked to predict, would have said that I thought Kelly was going to die, and that Connie would be staying around. We don't see Magna at the table, and her and Yumiko have been having problems. So. Interesting to see if she'll survive or not. We see the boat, I'm assuming, is taking Michonne to the island, the military base, whatever that guy is at, to get some weapons to come back and take Alpha out. We see Alpha, Negan, and Beta kind of chilling in the back, like you said, just like, yo, can we get a plate?
Right.
Lots of interesting things, but we've also got listeners that are way, way smarter than we are. So let us know some of the things we missed. Let us know some of the things we inaccurately guessed from the clues in the photo. Let's discuss. That's the point of a podcast, is discussion, and we would like to know what you think, what you found. And if we get enough stuff in the comments section. We'll do another podcast on this and kind of revisit it and throw in some new theories and things that have been pointed out to us, because I think it's really cool. They're making this like a yearly tradition.
Yeah, man, that is pretty suave.
So take a look at the photo again. If you are not watching on YouTube, maybe you downloaded this on iTunes or you're listening on Spotify or SoundCloud. Just Google, Walking Dead Thanksgiving photo 2019, and then maybe to compare it, just Google Walking Dead Thanksgiving photo 2018. You can flip between the two and see the differences. Look at the hints they gave last time as to what happened, and then look at this one and see if you can draw some clues. Mm-hmm. But yeah, until we meet again on next Monday for another Walking Dead podcast, we'll either revisit this if we get some really cool info on it, or we might go into a Walking Dead what if, or we might talk about when we think The Walking Dead was at its absolute best and why. So lots of discussion to be had. Let us know what you want to hear. We've got several Mondays between now and when The Walking Dead returns. So you just let us know what you want to discuss, and we'll discuss it. In the meantime, don't forget, as the man at the beginning said, to check out our Patreon, where you can enter secret contests. You get extra content, podcasts that are only available to that crowd. We have a very after-hours podcast on there, which is very real, far more vulgar, and you get more of us behind the scenes. And then again, like I said, we just did our big giveaway for the big box. And we're going to start doing like a prize box per month. So all you have to do is go pledge.
And our winner, man, send us some info. We need to get this stuff.
Yeah, we need to get your name, your address.
Yes.
All that good stuff so we can get this package sent to you.
That's right.
Maybe even the color of your underwear for JP, whatever you want to do.
I wouldn't mind some photogs.
Oh, man, he's not going to be happy to hear that.
No.
But anyways, so check out our Patreon, just patreon.com/thepodcastingdad. And if nothing else, we will catch you on Wednesday for another Weird Wednesday.
Yeah,
JP,
man.
any clue what we're talking about? Are we going to finally get to the Giants? What you thinking?
I want to research that a little bit more. I wouldn't mind possibly, I spent a couple nights in the woods, maybe talking more about the skinwalkers. I had some, some experiences. Nothing, I don't know, man. Maybe we can talk more about that.
Revisit the skinwalkers?
I was up in the western part of Virginia over the holiday weekend, and
if you join the Patreon, you can hear tomorrow's Patreon exclusive podcast where we're going to talk about JP's trip into the wild.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was real cold, though.
It was. Normally I'm the one outside having the good time, and this time we completely switched roles. I stayed in all weekend, and you were out living the dream.
Yeah, man, I want to get back in the wilderness now and maybe never come back.
I'm with you. Let's go.
This concrete jungle, dude, it's soul crushing.
It is. That's why I say nothing like getting in the woods to clear your head. But
yeah,
we will catch you, patrons. We'll catch you tomorrow for the Patreon exclusive podcast. Non-patrons, we'll catch you Wednesday for Weird Wednesday. In the meantime, I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.